Welcome to Hero Villains. Who do you think would win in Shuma-Gorath vs. Trigon, the War of the Dark Gods? Shuma-Gorath is the lord of countless chaotic dimensions, a nearly immortal entity that has ruled hundreds of realities. His power comes from primordial dark magic, the ability to manipulate reality, open dimensional portals, and assimilate worlds into his realm. Trigon is the demon lord of thousands of planets, born from the crystallization of sin and darkness in the universe. He possesses immense magical power, the ability to manipulate matter, control destructive energy, and even devour entire civilizations with his will. With ruthless intelligence and power far exceeding most supernatural entities, Trigon has struck fear into even the most powerful heroes. Before we delve into the analysis, please subscribe and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you very much. Among the countless terrifying entities that have appeared, Shuma-Gorath stands out as an ancient obsession, far beyond human imagination. He is not simply a monster, but the embodiment of primordial power that existed before the first laws of the universe. Shuma-Gorath's power is said to overwhelm a host of powerful entities such as Dormammu, Satanish, Mephisto, and even the classic version of Doctor Strange. Shuma-Gorath exists in a dimension beyond the comprehension of mortal being. He is considered the lord of hundreds of dimensions, where the familiar laws of the universe are almost meaningless. His power is tied to primordial ancient creatures, entities that emerged from the chaotic era before creation began. These species contributed to the formation of antimatter and laid the foundation for the fundamental forces of existence. What's even more terrifying is that Shuma-Gorath existed before the concept of time was formed, even before the existence of infinity and eternity. Shuma-Gorath could almost vanish into thin air without suffering any harm. Conversely, even cosmic entities like Galactus risk being harmed when facing similar primordial forces. This shows that Shuma-Gorath's power is not only terrifying, but also transcends the boundaries of the small dimensions under his control. Even rulers of hell like Mephisto or Satanish could hardly compare. In the presence of Shuma-Gorath, demonic kingdoms suddenly become small and fragile. Even the greatest mages must admit that Shuma-Gorath is an almost unconquerable force. His ancient power surpasses the ability of many mystical entities to confront him. Even Agamotto, the legendary sorcerer associated with the universe's oldest magical legacies, couldn't truly defeat Shuma-Gorath. What makes Shuma-Gorath so terrifying isn't just his power, but his ability to absorb energy from virtually every source in the universe. To have a chance against him, Doctor Strange once had to absorb a massive amount of dark magic, risking stepping into the perilous boundary between light and darkness. But even then, victory over Shuma-Gorath was only temporary. This entity is almost impossible to completely destroy. His physical body can be destroyed, but his true nature persists on a deeper level of reality. Even more frightening, magical legends warn that if anyone truly possesses the power to destroy Shuma-Gorath, they will ultimately become him. Even entities possessing immense power like Sis-Neg couldn't easily contend with Shuma-Gorath. Sis-Neg was renowned for its ability to absorb magical power and even destroy and recreate universes. However, against Shuma-Gorath, that advantage was almost meaningless. Instead of being absorbed, Shuma-Gorath threatened to devour Sis-Neg's power source. It was rare for an ancient entity like Shuma-Gorath to be pushed to the brink of defeat. However, this happened when Doctor Strange reached an unprecedented state of power. After merging with one of Shuma-Gorath's minions, Strange absorbed such a massive amount of magical energy that he himself became too dangerous for his own universe. That power was so great that if he returned to familiar reality, the magical energy erupting from his body could shake and destroy entire galaxies. Shuma-Gorath wasn't completely destroyed, but his power was severely weakened. The magical aftershocks from the battle spread across the layers of reality. Even other mages on Earth, preoccupied with their conflict with the Fantastic Four, felt the surge of mystical energy spreading throughout the multiverse. The battle between Strange and Shuma-Gorath created a supernatural earthquake, capable of shaking countless hellish realms and mysterious dimensions. When Shuma-Gorath revealed his true form to Strange, the entire universe seemed to tense up. Mages across different dimensions sensed a terrible disruption in the flow of magic. They understood that one of the ancient gods was awakening his true power. Shuma-Gorath had long been considered the ruler of hundreds of dimensions and a primordial force of chaos. In particular, within his own dimension, Shuma-Gorath was nearly invincible. It was the realm where his power reached its peak, and all laws bent to the will of this ancient entity. When his colossal eye opened in the void, the layers of reality trembled like a cosmic storm, and mages could only stand in stunned awe and fear before the rising ancient power. Shuma-Gorath existed across many realms. Thus, his true form could not be seen by humans. Perhaps he can change the form people see him in at will, since he is nothing but his power and his form is merely a shell containing that power, and only a small fraction of Shuma-Gorath's essence manifests on Earth when he is summoned. Thus, he is only seen in his omnipotent state in his home dimension. Shuma-Gorath's power is so great that he can destroy multiple galaxies with just the pressure of his aura, and is capable of destroying reality itself. I really hope you will subscribe to the channel. It would help us a lot, and you are the best. Thank you very much. Now let's talk about Trigon. The name Trigon is always associated with terror and destruction. He is not just an ordinary demon, but a trans-dimensional entity, embodying the essence of pure evil. Trigon's birth stemmed from the evil energies that the inhabitants of Azeroth had cast out of their society. However, instead of disappearing, that dark energy coalesced into a living entity. The result was the emergence of a being in the form of darkness, who later turned against and slaughtered those who had inadvertently created him. Years later, Trigon gave birth to a daughter named Raven. But fatherly love never existed in this demon's heart. Having conquered countless worlds and grown bored with his power, Trigon began to set his ambitious sights on the universe where Raven lived. From there, he became the most dangerous and terrifying enemy the Teen Titans had ever faced. Trigon began when he was very young. At the tender age of 1, he ruled his home planet. By the age of 6, he had destroyed it himself, and by the age of 30, Trigon controlled his entire dimension as an absolute tyrant. His power was so immense that a single glance could bring death to an entire world. Planets were incinerated by his cold stare, as if life before Trigon was nothing more than fragile dust. Trigon's power was once compared to the most powerful entities. He had fought Mr. MXCZ-PT-LK to a draw, and according to the Monitor's assessment, Trigon's power was comparable to that of the Spectre. These extraordinary feats made him one of the most terrifying demons to ever exist. When Trigon appeared, the sky seemed to darken, space vibrated with immense evil energy, and even the bravest heroes understood they were facing a living nightmare in the universe. Trigon's appearance always brings about catastrophic battles. When he unleashes his wrath upon different worlds, even the most powerful superhero armies struggle to withstand him. Trigon has overwhelmed a vast force of heroes. Witnessing this, Supergirl was even bewildered, unable to understand how Triumph could have survived this demon's rampage on his own planet. Not only does he dominate with brute force, Trigon also easily subdues his own daughter, Raven, one of the most powerful mages who fought alongside the Teen Titans. Trigon has conquered countless dimensions and seems never satisfied with his achievements. His thirst for destruction is like an unquenchable fire. When he merges with the Dark Heart, Trigon absorbs all the evil energy accumulated from nearly 100 galaxies. Many often mistakenly believe Trigon is just an ordinary demon from hell. In reality, he doesn't belong to any Hellion. Trigon is the living embodiment of pure hatred and evil. That nature sets him far beyond the concept of an ordinary demon. He can freely move through the portals connecting his demonic dimension to countless other worlds. Beyond his overwhelming power, Trigon is a master of mind manipulation, capable of creating sophisticated illusions, capable of ensnaring even seasoned warriors. As an ancient demonic entity, Trigon is not bound by age like mortal beings. He himself has claimed to have existed since the dawn of the universe, even before the Big Bang. This makes his age at least 13.7 billion years. Through all this time, Trigon's power seems to have remained undiminished. His body is almost immune to most forms of damage. Superboy's punches or Wonder Girl's strength have virtually no significant impact. Even the energy structures of the bunker are meaningless against his mountain-hard skin. Superboy once said that attacking Trigon is like trying to destroy a giant mountain with a small spoon. However, Trigon is not entirely invulnerable. In a rare moment, his skin was pierced by Red Robin's exceptionally sharp weapon. Though only a minor injury, it shows that even a terrifying entity like Trigon has fragile weaknesses. But to most of the universe, he remains an ancient nightmare silently lurking in the shadows. An evil force capable of striking fear into both heroes and worlds alike. Trigon can easily conceal his demonic nature by appearing in human form, his body transforming in a terrifying way. From his palms, gigantic demonic arms can emerge, stretching through space like dark tentacles, ready to seize any enemy who dares to confront him. Trigon is also a master of soul possession. He can invade the minds and control anyone to serve his plans. He has controlled hundreds of victims, from ordinary humans to powerful warriors and champions. Trigon can create massive pillars of fire and unleash them like storms, incinerating everything in their path. The flames can erupt from the ground, gush from his mouth, or flare up violently with just a thought. The heat radiating from his body is enough to distort the surrounding air, as if reality itself is trembling before his evil power. Trigon also possesses the ability to manipulate objects with pure willpower. With just a fleeting thought, he can hurl powerful opponents like Superboy aside or crush the energy structures created by Bunker. Even mighty demons like Belial have been overwhelmed by him in a similar manner. Even more terrifying is Trigon's mind-reading ability. He can see through the minds of any mortal, uncovering their entire memories, fears, and deepest secrets. In numerous confrontations, he has done this to Kid Flash and Wonder Girl, quickly grasping all the necessary information to manipulate his opponents. For Trigon, fighting is not just about strength, but also about psychological games. He enjoys observing his enemies' fears, reading their thoughts, and slowly suffocating their last glimmer of hope in the endless darkness. Trigon can be resurrected if he is destroyed along with his soul. The confrontation between Shuma-Gorath and Trigon has always been considered one of the most insane and captivating scenarios. Both are entities from other dimensions, possessing almost unimaginable power. It certainly wouldn't be an ordinary clash, but rather a destructive storm capable of shaking multiple layers of reality. Shuma-Gorath is an ancient entity from the distant past of the universe. He has existed for millions of years and once drained energy from the fear of primitive humanity. With his giant eye floating in the void, Shuma-Gorath rules hundreds of dimensions and overwhelms many other demonic entities like Mephisto and Satanish, even when they are within his territory. His power even makes the most powerful mages wary. For example, Sisnek, an entity capable of absorbing magic, once reached a level where he could destroy and recreate the universe. However, even Sisnek couldn't absorb Shuma-Gorath. Meanwhile, Trigon, the Conqueror of Worlds, a notorious space tyrant and Raven's father, possesses immense power stemming from his pure evil nature and insatiable ambition for domination. The dimensions he conquers span the universe, where every civilization trembles before the colossal figure of this fiery red conqueror. Shuma-Gorath was once defeated in a rare instance by Doctor Strange when the sorcerer was amplified to the point of almost exceeding his own limits. After merging with a Shuma-Gorath minion, Strange possessed such immense power that he couldn't return to the normal universe due to the risk of destroying galaxies. Trigon wields a colossal magical force capable of tearing apart the boundaries between dimensions. He not only destroys matter, but can also manipulate the very essence of existence. Trigon once scattered human atoms into blazing streams of light, keeping his victims alive in a state of agonizing pain as a cruel form of torture amidst massive fluctuations in the multiverse. Trigon's sons once existed in a multi-dimensional space where millions of universes collided and swirled around them like storms of reality. Another crucial element lies in the connection between Trigon and his daughter, Raven. If Trigon completely possessed Raven, his power would reach a state of complete and near infinite fullness. Unlike Shuma-Gorath, Trigon doesn't need to depend on a specific dimension to reach his peak power. He carries his power throughout the universe, like an evil storm unbound by fixed territory. Doctor Strange once defeated Shuma-Gorath without being transformed into that entity. Considering Trigon is often placed at a higher power level than Strange, there's reason to believe he won't end up becoming a clone of Shuma-Gorath. If Shuma's energy absorption becomes too dangerous and his destruction is impossible, Trigon could still will choose to banish his opponent from reality, similar to what Cisneg did. However, the situation could change completely if the battle takes place within Shuma-Gorath's domain. In his own dimension, this ancient entity is nearly invincible. Even so, history has shown that an enhanced Strange can still fight Shuma on equal footing within his own territory, so the outcome remains unpredictable. Trigon is likely to win. However, Shuma-Gorath remains an extremely dangerous unknown quantity. I hope you enjoyed this battle. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Please follow me if you like it. That's today's video. Thank you very much.